Okay, everyone, welcome to my podcast. This is Louis A. Papp, founder and CEO of Magyar Investments. As always, I like to help people with the pronunciation. It's Magyar, not Magyar Investments. For those of you heathens who have no Eastern European friends. And today I have with me, as I always have, successful real estate. As you all know, on my show, I bring people on so they can talk about their success, what they've done to be successful, tips they can give you, and obviously the focus of the core center of my conversation is about AI and how it has helped, what we can do, what we see going forward. And today we have Yulia Glasgow. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Glasgow, like the city.
Glasgow. Just
Yeah,
okay, just like in Scotland. Okay. And she is a real estate broker, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Yulia, take it away.
of course. Thank you for having me on this podcast. I'm Yulia Glasgow. I've been in real estate for over 5 years. I'm located in Maine, and this is my primary market. Southern Maine, actually more specific, and I focus on residential real estate and absolutely love doing what I do.
All right. And how did you get into real estate?
It was actually a really interesting story. My husband and I purchased our first flip, and at that point, I was not in real estate, and I said, "Hey, well, maybe when
I
I
could do
get my
this.
yeah, I can get my real estate license while we're flipping the house, and now it's gonna be my first listing." And sure it was.
No, that's actually not an uncommon story. There's a lot of careers in general that have sort of branched off from something that started. So for those who don't know, what is a reverse flip?
A reverse flip. I have
Is
no
that what
idea
you
what
just
it.
said?
No, a
Or you just said a
first.
flip? Your
No, it's
first. Oh, okay.
I
Because
don't know what reverse
I was
flip
like,
is.
yeah, I was like a reverse flip. Been around finance for a long time. Never heard that expression. So, actually, if I think about it, a reverse flip would just be buying a house. I guess that's what it would be. But why don't you explain to people listening? Most people know what flipping houses is, but give everyone a little taste of what you do and how you do it.
Yeah, of course. So our first flip, because we've done it before, and my husband is in construction, so we said, you know what? How about we find a good deal? And my realtor at that time did find us a good deal, and we were able to purchase the house at a good price, and then we would make modifications to the house. Made improvements, made it so much better, so it's easy to move in. There's nothing to fix, and we sell it for a larger price and made profit. That's
There you
pretty much
go.
it's
So,
it's called fix and flip. If you were to do fix and hold, then you fix the house and then you would rent it out. And we decided not to do that, and we just sold it and made profit just to pocket right away.
so have you ever done any fix and flips where you have held on to the property?
Not yet.
Okay. So that's always an interesting avenue because you would, first of all, for those of you listening, it sounds really cut and dry. Look, we buy it, fix it up, and sell it. But you got to remember, there's a whole lot more to it than that. First of all, you're not guaranteed that the moment you put it on the market, you're going to sell it. So you got to know, like Yulia will, I'm sure, confirm with me that I got to calculate. Okay, I'm buying the house and I'm making these numbers up. 300,000. Okay, and I figure you first of all you have to know before you buy it how much I'm going to put into it, right? So like
Absolutely.
so and then you have to determine what the market can bear for that kind of house, right? So it has to be a good deal, right? So then,
Mhm.
but then again, even if it's a great deal, let's say you know for a fact you're buying this house for 300,000. Every house on the market is selling around for 500,000. You're going to put about 50,000 into it. So you're thinking, oh, okay, I'm coming ahead 150,000, but you still have the mortgage on that property, and every month that you're not selling it, you're making that mortgage payment. So what is any specific metric or calculation that you use to make sure this is a viable investment for us?
Sure. It definitely doesn't. If the property needs a lot of work, and we need to make sure that we put the money in, we're gonna get something out. So if we put say 100,000 into it, and we're only
Hmm.
gonna get 20 in return, and we spend 3 months on redoing the property,
Hmm.
might not be a good flip because
Right, of course.
you're looking at what, six, maybe $7,000 a month as a profit.
Right.
Probably not. Um,
Is there any
so
specific, is there, are there any red flags? Like when you say you have to fix up a property, is there any type of repair that makes you say, oh, that's a dead deal. I'm not touching that.
absolutely, that's what we learned from this one.
Okay.
We did not realize we put so much more into the property to fix it than we expected because we thought, okay, it's just cosmetics. We wanted to add another bathroom to
Hmm.
increase value, which was great. But when we got into it and started pulling stuff off, we realized it was infested with mice. So we
Oh,
literally had to get it down to the studs to make it right. I mean, of course, we could just say close our eyes and just say, hey, whatever.
sure.
The little
Sure.
critters could just live in there and not tell anybody about it. But
Right.
no,
Probably
no,
not a good long-term answer, but yeah.
absolutely no. So this is, I mean, it's ethics. It all comes down to ethics and making sure that the property is done right, all the work is done right. And so it was a very interesting experience checking little mice out of the window.
So yeah, that's and I've heard a lot of these stories. And again, for those of you listening, I've heard some, there can be some really horror stories. There really can. You have to do your due diligence. It's not as easy, it's so first of all, someone's getting rid of a property, there's a reason. Okay. There's a reason they're getting rid of it. Now, in a perfect scenario, everybody wins, right? The person selling it to you wins. You buy it, fix up, you sell it. The person who's buying the property from you have to fix up. They win because they get a nice property, but that's not always the case. So as Yulia just explained, you got to get your inspections. You got to make sure you do your research on the market that you're in. It sounds really easy. You're like, yeah, of course I'm going to do my research on the market, but not just on houses, but that house. Is it a duplex? Is it a 3 unit? Is it a single family residence? What is the acreage? What is the zoning? How close are you to the city? Is the street? I had one person I helped. This they integrated AI. I helped them integrate AI into their system. And she did exactly what Yulia does, except she never took into consideration that this house is on a dirt road. I mean, she was like, yeah, it's on a dirt road. What's the big deal? Well, that was a huge turnoff for a lot of people. A lot of people they want a paved road. So even though she did all her research on the structure, the area, everything, she ended up holding on to that property. She almost took a loss on it. I mean, it was rather significant. So your husband's in construction, general contractor?
He focuses on decks and porches, actually. That's his specialty, but he does pretty much everything. He could do pretty much everything. So when it comes to flips and fixing properties that are our investments, then he can easily do the majority of work. He cannot do licensed work like plumbing or electrical. So
Mm-hmm.
he would have
Subcontract that out.
subcontractors for that. So he would be acting as GC in that position.
Got it. Okay. Now, have you always lived in? Now we hear a little bit of an accent. So what is that? I know what it is, but the viewers don't know.
Yeah.
It is a Russian accent. That's my best Russian accent. This is the best one I can do. It is Russian accent. She's from Russia. That's as good as I. That's it. That's it. That's all I got. That and the word vodka. Vodka. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. Okay. So how long have you lived in the United States?
24 years this August.
All right. Good for you. And what about your husband? Is he Russian as well?
Oh gosh, no. He was from the United States, even though he
It's
Glasgow last name. So we were thinking, okay, maybe he's from Scotland, and
right.
he's not. But I took him to Glasgow,
Oh,
Scotland, for his
how'd you
40th.
like that? I've never. That's like that's one of my destinations I've always wanted to visit. And I got a thing for the Scottish people because they've just been through so much. You know what I mean? It's like the domination from England and all that. What was that like? Did you have a good time when you were there?
Absolutely, we have friends there. It's a funny story. We met a lovely couple from Scotland, about 45 minutes north of Glasgow. We met them on vacation in Mexico, and this is a super funny story. Like we were talking, and I said, "Okay, I hear a Scottish accent." It's like, "Is it Scottish?" They're like, "Oh yeah." And so I introduced them to my husband and said, "So this is Sunny," and they're like, "Wait a second." And your last name is Glasgow? Yeah. They started laughing. It's like, so this is Sonny Glasgow. I said, yes, it's never Sonny in Glasgow.
That just hit me. The moment you said it, when you first said his name is Sunny, I'm like, yeah, what's the big deal? Then you said Sunny Glasgow, and it's probably not very sunny there most of the time. That's
Yeah.
that's hilarious. That's great.
It's hilarious, but it's actually when we arrived to Glasgow, it was super sunny. So I had to take a picture and just say, like, hey, sunny in Glasgow and a very sunny
There
Glasgow.
you go. There you go. And what time of the year did you go?
August.
Okay, so that apparently that's the good time to go, right?
Perfect. I mean, it was fantastic. The people were great. Location is awesome. There's always a party. No.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure people, the Scottish people, they know how to get down. So
Hmm.
let's talk about your business a little bit. So let's pull up some of. Let's see what we got. We have. I'm going to share with you guys. Let's go to Yulia's Facebook page so I can share that with everybody. Go here. All right, so there she is, the Haven Group. Okay,
Yeah.
and so if you need to find her, just type in Yulia Glasgow, comma the Haven Group, and you can find her right there. She's got a call now number and lots of little listings, videos, lots of funny videos. So what about? Let's talk about and let's do one more here. Let's go with your Instagram page so we can get that out there as well. And let's go here. And there we go. And there she is. All right, lots of pictures. And if you need to sit, there it is, Maine Realtor at Real Brokerage. So, and she's bilingual. I presume you speak Russian.
Да, я говорю по-русски.
I'll take that as a yes. Okay. So, okay, so there she is, and that's how you can find her. So, is there any specific? So you don't do commercial, just residential.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask me if I do commercial, and I just don't relate to commercial as much as I can relate to residential. And I did have this conversation with one of my friends who's a commercial broker, and
Mm-hmm.
she goes, Julia, I have no idea how you do residential.
Right.
I would rather sell another Denny's to one of one of my clients than go to an open house and do all the photos and whatever else you do. I'm like,
Doesn't
okay.
surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. You know, it's just all a feel. You know what I mean? It's just like I have been in business to business sales almost my whole life. You know, when I was a financial advisor for 12 years, Merrill Lynch, I was first time I was business to consumer, and it was a big shift. You know, I like in this world where I live, business to business. That's my world. Business to consumer. It's like it's you have to explain to yourself. You explain to your customers why they should use you. And I don't like doing that. You know what I mean? So people who do what you do, what you said does not surprise me at all. Like it does not surprise me that some people are like, "Oh, I could never do residential," and some people are like, "I could never do commercial." You know, it's just a feel, and that's why you're good at what you do. You know, you have people relate to you. It resonates with people. So there you go. So let's talk about AI. AI is all the talk. That's what everybody wants to talk about. My experience has been so far, and this is what I do. Those of you who don't know who are watching this, Mudge Investments, I incorporate AI at every level into any organization. When I say every level, you could start off where you have nothing. I don't have a website. I don't have anything. You could be on the other end of the spectrum. I have a great website, Instagram, all that, but maybe you don't have an AI voice agent. And that's really what I've been focusing on lately because I've noticed, especially in real estate, general contractors, and financial advisors. Those are my three demographics. My question to them is who answers your call when no one's answering your call? If you in 2026 are still at the point where when someone calls you Saturday night, Sunday morning, and they get leave a name and number at the beep and I'll get back to you, as opposed to a voice AI agent that walks them through to conclude with an appointment, you're not winning the battle. You know that it's just the way it is. And I'll say this last thing: people have said to me, you know, Lewis, people don't like talking to AI. They don't like dealing with a voice AI agent. And to which I say, yeah, no kidding. None of us do. I don't like it. And this is what I do. But it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. Right? In 1991, if you said, I don't know if I like this whole internet thing, I'm just going to stick with my brick and, you know, you would have been done. right? It's just so we are in a situation where AI can do so much, and yet not everybody loves it. But that's my experience. So I want to talk to what have you done to incorporate? And before we even go with that, what is when I said that a lot of people don't like talking to AI, don't like dealing with it? How do you feel about that?
I like using AI if it saves me time. If it saves me time, if it produces results. I know that from personal experience using AI. So if I see something online, if I see a service that I like, I would inquire about it. And if I get an immediate response, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, somebody is on point. So you are definitely making a really good point because right now, if somebody calls me and it's 9 o'clock at night on a Monday and I'm putting my kids to bed, I'm probably not going to be answering my phone. It's
Nor
probably
should
not
you be. Right.
answered.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. Or
Right. Of course.
if I am on vacation, then I would love to unplug and I would love to go on vacation because honestly, I can work from any flat surface from
Of
anywhere.
course. Right.
And that's the world right now. And so if somebody could answer a phone call while when I'm not available, while I'm with my family, traveling on a plane, um, sure, I would
Yeah. There you go.
absolutely use that.
Yeah. And the thing is, and for those of you listening, I want you to also look at it from the other angle. The other angle is think of how much patience people have today. Okay. And let's use real estate. If I want to look at a house and I want to call and I don't get a real estate agent on my first call, do we live in a society where people say, well, I'll just be patient. I'll wait for them to call me back? Or do they just go to the next name on Google? Right.
Yeah, they
And
go next.
exactly. And I had a general, one of the people I helped, one of the things that really inspired me was I was doing, this is why I have my whole voice AI agent system. About 2.5 years ago, I had plumbing needing redone in my house. Long story short, I called 4 plumbers on Friday. Okay. One plumber called me back in like 10 minutes, Johnny on the spot. The other 3 called me back the following Monday and Tuesday. And I was like, dude, I already booked this. You know what I mean? A year, So it's where I'm going with this is that the standard for response in our era that we live right now is instant. People say we live in an information age. No, we live in an instant information age. If I don't get a response now, I'll go to someone who can give me a response now. So that's it. So what have you done with AI? How is AI like? How have you incorporated it into your business model?
So it's definitely helping with automated emails. So we got to that point. So if somebody calls or if they send a message on Instagram, I do have a lot of messages on Instagram or Facebook, and then we do provide an automated messages and emails just to make sure that hey, you are on my radar. I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. So
Okay,
that was
that's good. And
yeah.
do you have any systems in place now that actually book appointments for you?
Not appointments. So appointments
Okay,
are very important. It would be appointments would be set once I talk to them.
got it. Got it. Okay, good. And now, where you work, are you on your own or are you part of a real estate group?
So I am. I'm affiliated with Real Brokerage. So Real Broker.
Okay,
It's
that's what the Instagram was. Okay, right
yeah.
at Real
That's the
Brokers.
Real Broker is an agency um,
Okay,
that is in the United States and Canada,
okay,
and so I'm affiliated with that agency, but on my own, I have the Haven Group as my business, and I do have an assistant.
okay. So Haven Group. So and now, do you still? So how much of your business is fix and flips? Are you still doing that?
Not really.
Okay.
I step back from that just to focus on service of my clients and help them sell and help them buy, help them invest. I had a repeat investor who keeps coming back every year to add to portfolio, which
That's
is
great.
fantastic. And sometimes I laugh when people come to me and say, "Hey, Yulia, do you have time for me? I know this price might not be your price point, but I was like, it's it." I don't know what people think. Like I know I would I would love to work with you.
Yeah.
If you want to add to your portfolio, absolutely.
So
It
you
means so
okay?
much for
So
the trust
what?
that you keep coming back.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, that's the ultimate sign that you're doing a good job, right? I mean, I know for myself, I I can't say that all my business is referrals. I hope to get to that point one day, but I know that right now, I would say about 20 to 25% of my business are referrals. And then there's some people who that's all their business. You know what I mean? That they can live off that. And that's like I said, that's the ultimate sign of respect from your peers and respect from your customers that you're doing well enough that they continue to use you and refer you out to people who also want to use you. Because I found that, so I did, those of you who are watching, remember, I've mentioned this before, I did real estate, but I was on a wholesale side. So
Hmm.
I never did the real estate transactions. So it's funny. We talked earlier about things like you can't feel like you could do like what Yulia does. I couldn't do that. Like I would not be good at that. Wholesaling, which is, and when you're a wholesaler, you're essentially a field underwriter. So I would go to an office, ABC brokerage, and I would represent the bank. And I walk in, I say, "You got a loan?" And they say, "Yeah, it's this person, the Joe Schmo. He wants to buy this house, 80% LTV." And I say, "Great." And I would look at the package, package being the preliminary title report, the appraisal, income documents, bank statements, credit report, and I would tell them, yeah, we can do this, or no, we can't. Yeah. So that's what I did. It's a whole different world than what Yulia does. So it's one thing I always tell people, that the real estate is like a tree, and the number of branches that come off of that tree, as far as individual separate fields, I think you'd agree with me, Yulia, they could be night and day. So Yulia she could work, well, she works in Maine. I could work in Maine doing wholesaling. She does real estate, and our paths could never cross. I mean, that's legitimately possible. Um, have you ever considered incorporating the mortgage side into your business?
No, never crossed my mind.
Okay. Do you know anybody that does do that?
Like a
It's pretty rare, don't you think?
real estate agent who is also
Yeah, they do the real estate and they do the loans. Like they have, like I've seen a couple of
I,
places set up where we show
yeah,
homes and we have a financing, but it seems really rare that people do that.
it's rare. I've met maybe two people doing that, and to me, it's odd because uh, you cannot half-ass two things. You are either 100% in or and put 100% into what you do and do it best. But because when you split your attention into multiple directions, it just something has to give. So instead of taking it all myself, I do have trusted lending partners for
That's what
every
most people
specific
do. Yeah.
case. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
found, so yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
good.
My experience has been that people, this is where I was going with that. The people who do try to do as much of it as possible tend not to do as well in one area as others. That's been my experience. Like if you try and do all of it, I want to do real estate, I want to do the mortgage, I want to try and, wrap it all into one umbrella, as opposed to doing what you do, which is, look, I just focus on real estate. People who seem to focus on one, specific avenue tend to do better. That's my view. That's, I don't know.
I agree. I agree. And you mentioned, referrals and repeat clients. So since last year, I upped my rate to 90% repeat clients and referrals from
Wow,
clients.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. How much advertising do you do, or do you do any advertising, or is it mostly social media?
Social media is a lot of advertising. That's where I'm just present and I'm just telling my story and I am
Hmm.
just telling what I do for people and how I can help them reach their real estate goals. And some sellers come to me and they say, "Hey Yulia, this is the keys and our flight is on Wednesday. Please help." And
That's
that's it.
great.
And I come in and do my magic.
You're breaking up a little bit on me, Yulia.
Oh,
Mm.
can you hear me?
Yep. There you go. You're back. Okay.
I'm
I don't
back.
know.
Okay, I'm
Something
back.
happened with the connection there. So I've noticed also lately there's a trend I've noticed that real estate agents are starting to do seminars, like home buying seminars, or seminars in general like that. I've noticed a couple of people that I've done podcasts with that they've done that. Is that any interest to you, or have you considered that at all, or is
I've done it. I've done it. I've actually had webinars. Just it's not even a webinar because I don't like this because the moment you hear webinar, you want to run away. It's like sounds really
It's
boring.
kind of
No,
true.
no. What I've done just quick sessions. It's like it's a lunch. It's not even a lunch and learn, but it's like at noon. I would have a 20-minute power session with potential buyers who would like to learn about certain points that are very important before they make a purchase, before even start the buying process, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so helpful."
That's great. That's great. That's good. And it helps it. I think, I don't know. So I used to do them all the time when I was a financial advisor. I was the actually seminar leader for Merrill Lynch in Northern California. And, well, we didn't get a ton of business out of it. I'll be honest with you. We didn't, but it really helped us cement our name in the community and people knew who we were. I think, especially in real estate, that would be really like if you're doing a lot of seminars, even if you're not gaining a ton of business out of it, if people can recognize your name, especially, and I mean, Maine's not, it's not exactly California. You don't have 30 million people in Maine. So I think if you have a smaller knit community, the more prominent you could make your name doing something like that, I think that would be really effective, which is probably one of the reasons you're good at what you do. So,
Yeah.
so where do you see AI going into the future with real estate? How do you see it impacting what you do?
I think it's going to streamline things. Even with Real Broker, the agency that I'm part of, um, AI is huge. You have a platform, and you can solve your questions just by talking to an AI assistant before you
Hmm.
even call anybody for tech support. So it's great, and then this way also, like, hey, real estate is a lot of paperwork. Streamlining paperwork is huge.
Absolutely. Amen.
Yes, analyzing contracts is another thing. So, how, like, if somebody sends you a contract and maybe, like, I know some of my clients are not from Maine and they are looking to invest in another state, and they would call me for assistance and say, Yulia, can you just look over this contract? And I mean, I can scan through this and just see, like, if there are points that are missed or something that is questioned. But at the same time, you can take that contract, upload into an AI platform, and it's going to tell you, like, hey, this can summarize.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. So here's my catchphrase that I tell people, and I've just come up with this lately. If you are in any type of sales endeavor, which obviously you are, any real estate, financial advisor, even a general contractor, their goals, in a perfect scenario, you should only be selling. All the other administrative, clerical, sales follow up, um, all that should be automated. And there's no reason you can't automate that. So what you have to ask yourself is how valuable is my time? And do I want to spend my time, in Yulia's point, reviewing a contract? Or how do I want to spend my time doing things that are not valuable? The most valuable thing you can do is getting a new client. That is the most valuable point of your time. So if you're watching this and you're asking yourself, it's easy. Track your progress throughout a week and ask yourself, how much of my day am I doing administrative tasks? How many calls am I missing? How many follow-ups am I doing? You shouldn't. You should get all that out of your way. The thing about AI is not to replace people, it's to allow the people to do more important things. That's been my experience. And I've said this on my show each and every time. I have yet to help a company incorporate AI into their system and then have that company let people go. It hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened yet. What has happened is that now our people can do and focus on more important things. Now, it may have precluded them from future hiring. Like, we don't need to hire more in the future. That has definitely happened, but it hasn't happened yet. And I say that because people are always worried. I don't know if you hear this, Julia, or not. Oh, AI is going to replace people. People are
All the
going to
time.
lose their jobs, right? And I tell people, listen, what's going on is just a new technological revolution that has happened hundreds of times. Okay. When the industrial revolution started, okay, jobs changed. When the combustion engine was created, what happened to the people who were making horse and buggies? they got different jobs, right? What happened, when the internet was born in the early 90s, the people who were just using brick and mortar establishments, they didn't all lose their jobs. They got different jobs. You know what I mean? So, this whole idea that AI is going to put people out of work, I don't see it. I think it's going to have people are going to find different avenues. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a greater value placed on your time. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I honestly, I like how AI right now help me enhance my work and my work day. It actually sparks creativity. I'm a super creative person, and I love that real estate actually allows me to be as creative as I can, and it just shows in the videos that I produce for my clients, videos I produce educational about real estate, events that I put together for my clients, and that's what. Oh, somebody's here.
Sorry, that's my phone. I
Yeah.
didn't mute my phone. That's an idiot move right there. That's on me. I didn't mute my phone. That's great.
Okay.
Do a
So,
podcast and don't mute your phone. How to look stupid while doing a podcast. All right. Can't believe I
oh,
just did that.
oh, that's so funny. But yeah, so the AI literally just like I would talk to my AI system and I say, hey, well, I want to be creative about this, or give me some ideas. And then it just spins, like it just comes
That's great.
more and more. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is fun. Like, I can't believe I get to do this
Right, right.
for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not the same thing, but in different avenues. Yeah, it has allowed me. I know for me, it's allowed me to help companies. I have and I use this example all the time. There's a company in Colorado that I've assisted, and I've incorporated AI with them on every level. And they're in Colorado, and they are a commercial real estate company, and they manage $40 million worth of commercial real estate with three people. They had his office. They started with two. They added one person since then, and I've helped them automate. I mean, you wouldn't know it, by the way. You go to their website, you call their number.
Hmm.
I implemented a voice AI system for them. You would have no idea there's only three people working there. And that's the whole point. Is that it really, in some ways, it's not three people, because if you look at all the jobs that AI does, right? I mean, it's
Hmm.
just so. Yeah, I think there's the big paranoia that people have is excessive, and I think it's overdone. But I think that'll show itself. I think that'll come out, And I'm really interested to see how. Of course, there's going to be people who use it for bad stuff. I mean I mean that's human nature, right? We're unfortunately sinful people. We do stupid things, like
Yeah.
leave our phones on during podcasts. Right there, we did that. Okay, so we're sort of at the end of our show here, Yulia. What any parting messages? Oh, this is a question I forgot to ask you that I always ask guests. So, if you knew someone who is starting out in real estate who wants to achieve the success that you've achieved, what advice would you give them? What's one thing that you did that you wouldn't do again, and one thing you did that you thought, oh, that was really good that I did that?
So what I would continue doing, or just do more of it, is just to give. Provide value. Provide value, be yourself, and don't spread yourself too thin. Don't chase every shining object, because there's so many of them in real estate. My email, my Facebook, my Instagram just keeps bombarding me with like, oh yeah, there's this thing, and then this thing, and this thing, and this thing. And so I have to pause and think, okay, what's gonna bring me the time to connect with my clients? What's going to bring me the revenue that I need for my business? And what is going to make my day streamlined so that A, I can focus on my business, B, spend with my family, and C, still have time to run my nonprofit. I don't know if we talked about the
No,
nonprofit.
we didn't. Please, I don't want to end before we talk about that. What's your nonprofit?
Yeah, my nonprofit is called Yule's Foundation for Foster Youth. It's yulesfoundation.org. And I established it in December of 2021. That's actually a reason why I wanted to do something than my 9 to 5 that I was part of before real estate. And I said, you know what? I want to help foster youth who are transitioning out of foster care. I want them to dream big. And
Good
I
for
want
you.
them to know that their past does not equal their future. So if their uncle was working on at a gas station, they should not be just thinking that this is going to be their life. So
Good for
they
you.
can do whatever they want. So we are thriving. We are all volunteer based, and that's why I need time. That's why I need to streamline. I
Yeah,
have
yeah, no kidding.
yeah, I
This is
have
the
a
this is the
very
website. There you go.
yeah.
Of all yulesfoundation.org. So here it is. I want to make sure we put it up there. That's fantastic. It's nice to see when people give back. That's really good because we all know that. Look, we're all busy, and we could all. I don't begrudge anybody for not giving back. Okay, I don't hold that against you because I know it's really busy. But someone like Yulia, she could easily say that she's too busy to do this. But the fact that you find time to do this, I think is just really fantastic. It really is.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's huge. Portion of my commission goes to the foundation every year, and as I said, we fundraise. We have our fifth annual gala coming up in January. It's going to be exciting. We're doubling the size from this year, so super thrilled about
Awesome. Well,
that.
make sure you send me something, an email on that, so I can put that on my Facebook page, and I can make sure I get that out there because that's really great. It's really nice to see people do this stuff.
Thank you.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our show. I'm glad we got that. God, I would have felt terrible if we didn't get that in there. That was fantastic. That's good. So, Yulia Glasgow, thank you so much for joining me on my show today. Again, for those of you who need to reach her, you just replay this. You can see the Facebook page, you can see our Instagram page, and obviously Yule's Foundation for Foster Youths. Is that what it is?
Hmm. Yeah,
For foster, yes. Okay,
for you.
and
Yes.
that's our show. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.